So let's go to part 2 of Trump and Varney. Varney and Trump. Trump huffing furniture varnish. The musical. I don't know what. In the beginning, if you'll recall, Varney asked him what he would do, what he would send in to Ukraine to push back against the Russians. And every time, he always went to, we need to threaten them with nukes. Oh, Aaron, thank you. I will, indeed. Shannon, thank you so much for that. And yeah. Fabulous. All right. Rexmo for being Patreon number 416. Bless you. You can become an annual Patreon, by the way. You can just, if you don't like monthly payments on things or it makes you nervous at all, you can just do a full year in one fell swoop at whatever level you want. Knock yourself out. Wonderful. Patreon.com/HalSparks. All right, here we go. This is Donald Trump live on Varney. This is your brain on Varney.
Iran. We are told that we're going to be signing an Iranian nuke deal any day now. I'm sure you oppose it. You took us out of the nuke deal. What do you think?
Yeah, you took us out of this deal, which, allowed Iran to continue working on a nuclear bomb and also to not trust deals with America because they were apparently something that could just be chucked out by whoever came in next time, even if they hadn't violated the terms.
Happens just a few months or year down the road if we go back into that Iran nuke deal and they get a chance of a bomb?
Well, no, the point of the deal is to make sure they don't get one, dummy. The part of the deal is we get to watch and look and make sure. What? They can make a bomb now if they want to. There is no deal in place. There is nothing stopping them from building a bomb. We don't have any observers. We don't have any, people from the IAEA getting in there. We did before. We don't now.
Well, it's the end of Israel if that happens. Israel is. I don't think Israel could actually.
Yeah, you know what? If that's all they're going to do. They want a bomb so they can nuke Israel, and then that's that. And then they'll go back to, drizzling chocolate on dates and selling rugs and building really cool architecture. And they're going to right back to Persian society after they
let it happen. It is the worst deal. And also, you're going to see nukes all over the Middle East, and everyone else is going to get them too. It will be.
Yeah. Yes. Iran is the Oprah of nukes. And you get a nuke, and you get a nuke, and you get a.
And because if they have them, Saudi Arabia is going to get them, and everyone else is going to get them. And how can you tell them not to do it?
So why is Biden doing it?
Because.
What do you mean? What do you mean, why is he doing it? He's trying to stop them from getting it. What the fuck is wrong with you? Does Varney think this is a deal to give them nuclear bombs? Does he actually think that? There's a difference between thinking it won't work and that they'll do it in secret so the deal will give them cover to do it, which is the fart air conspiracy that Trump pretends to believe, which he knows isn't true. And then what the fuck does he think the deal is? It's to stop them from building a nuke.
He's stupid, okay? Because he's stupid. And because they're...
Yeah, that's it. He's just stupid. He's stupid. It's it's stupid. That's the thing. The first deal was stupid, and this one is stupid. Why? Because it's a terrible deal. Why is it a terrible deal? Because it's the worst stupid deal ever. Why is it the worst stupid deal ever? Because it's stupid, I see.
And they shouldn't be in power anyway, but they're destroying our country, and they may ultimately be responsible for destroying the world.
All right, well, I'm glad we're talking to a sane human being. Thank you for calling. Jim from Florida calling in. Jim, what do you do for a living? I test the smell of paints to see if they all smell very paint-like. Is it really your job? It's more of a hobby. I spray it into a bag, and then I hold the bag up to my face, And then what the, what? What is that? Listen to this shit.
And they shouldn't be in power anyway, but they're destroying our country, and they may ultimately be responsible for destroying the world.
What are you going to do if there is a nuke deal with you?
Yeah, what are you going to do if there's a new nuclear deal with them and they don't actually create a bomb and you run? How are you going to run for office if the world has been destroyed? What are you going to? Well, it's going to be very tough. We can get back very quickly. We're going to build a wall, more of a dome. It's good. Have you seen Snowpiercer? All right.
And as looks
So
likely,
I did,
what will you do? What will you say?
I did.
Yeah, what are you going to say if a deal happens and then they don't get a nuke and Israel still exists in 2023 when you pretend you're going to run for president again and there hasn't been a nuclear war? How are you going to react to the lack of nuclear war?
Things for Israel. I was the best president ever for Israel, but I do for this country. But Israel, the Mount on High, very big deal. 52 years they tried to get. I got that. And, of course, Jerusalem, the capital.
The Mount on High. Is that your favorite position, Varney? The Mount on High. Hold on. I'm sure that's a real thing. Let's see. We got Mount. I'm Googling Mount on High. Here's what I'm getting. High Mount School homepage, Mount High Resort, Mount High, Alabama, which we won by a tremendous margin. Huge. Rocky Mountain High School, so good. High Quad Gun Mount, also awesome. Images from Mount High. There's their school. The Mount High Mountaineers, great team, so good. What does High Mount mean? Mount High. San Gabriel Mountains, the Mountain High Resort. Such a loved. I had that picked up and air flown in to Israel. This is all in downtown Jerusalem. Yeti Snowplay, which is, by the way, this is a wrong picture of it. Yeti Snowplay is actually a fetish that I was into. Fucked up the words of a John Denver song, you think? Rocky Mountain High in Colorado.
With the embassy and all. But the biggest thing I did for Israel was, and the smart people say this, by far the biggest, bigger than...
The smart people say this, bigger than anything, was to get out of the Iran deal so that they could be
bigger
nuked.
than, moving our embassy to Jerusalem and Jerusalem becoming the capital. Much bigger. I ended the Iran nuclear deal. They're now going to go into a much worse deal than the deal they had, which was horrible. One of the worst deals I've ever seen, other than their trade deals were so bad.
What about it? What about the deal? What was bad about it? I know it was a terrible deal. Tell me what was terrible about the Iran deal. What was the... Okay, hold on. Okay. This is the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action for the 2015 agreement. Iran nuclear deal framework was a preliminary framework agreement that reached in 2015 between Iran and a group of world powers, the P5+1, permanent members of the United Nations Council, U.S., UK, Russia, France, and China, plus Germany. Carry the France. Based on that, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action between was announced on the 15th in Vienna. Okay, background. Okay, we got agreement details. This is the terrible part of the deal. Let's hear it. I want to hear it. This is a good time. Here we go. According to the joint statement in Switzerland, who left their position as neutral and now are attacking Russia is terrible. Whatever happened. Switzerland, what's happened to you? Tulsi Gabbard would not approve. Let's see. According to its framework, Iran would redesign, convert, and reduce its nuclear facilities and accept the additional protocol in order to lift all nuclear-related economic sanctions, freeing up tens of billions of dollars in oil revenue and frozen assets. There you go. The enrichment. Iran's enrichment capacity, enrichment level, and stockpile will be limited for specified durations. That's 10 years. There would be no enrichment facilities other than Natanz, which is the trackable one. Iran is allowed to conduct research and development on centrifuges with an agreed scope and schedule. Fordo, the underground enrichment center, will be converted into a nuclear physics and technology center. The school for people who want to glow in the dark. The heavy water facility in Iraq, with help of international venture, will be redesigned and modernized to a heavy water research reactor with no weapon-grade plutonium byproducts. The spent fuel would be exported. There would be no reprocessing. Monitoring, implementation of the modified Code 3.1 and provisions application of the additional protocol. Iran agreed IAEA procedure, which enhanced access by modern technology to clarify past and present issues. Sanctions. When the IAEA verifies Iran's implementations of its key nuclear commitments, they will terminate all nuclear-related economic sanctions so they can have nuclear power. The United States will cease the application of all nuclear-related secondary economic and financial sanctions. The UN Security Council will endorse this agreement with a resolution which terminates all previous nuclear-related resolutions and incorporates it, because basically just if they had nuclear power, they were in violation of it because they could weaponize the remnants, and therefore if they could do that, then they couldn't sell or buy anything else, right? Yeah. There you go. All right. Sorry, people are so over Trump. It's hilarious.
You got the USMCA instead of NAFTA.
How long do you think it would be before, if you were president and you opened up the spigots and did all the fracking, how long before we get back to energy independence?
And by the way, energy independence, we're a net exporter of energy. We were in 2020, largely because we were shut down, but we are in 2021 and 2022.
And dominant.
We are already there, and energy dominance, that's just a fucking word. What the fuck does that even mean? Honestly, what's their definition of energy dominance? What does that mean? We produce more than anybody else? What the fuck for?
So as you know, because you report all the time, and you did at the time, you made a really big deal of it, which I appreciate, but we became energy independent when I was president, first time ever.
Oh my God. Based on steps started under Obama to build up, for fuck's sake. And we are now.
And that involved a lot. But what nobody really understood was we were going to be...
It involved a lot. That did. It involved a lot. It was a lot. Yeah.
The size of Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Much bigger than both combined. And OPEC was... You never even heard the term OPEC during my administration. Nobody talked about it.
The fuck are you talking about? He went to beg Russia and Saudi Arabia to lower their output.
It was dead. And now OPEC is telling us they're dictating the terms, and we're going begging to OPEC.
No, they're not. No, we're not.
For oil.
Begging.
It's so ridiculous. The one thing is they're going to have to get going immediately, and they can't do that because they got elected with the radical left crazies. And they're so into this climate hoax. And nobody's more into the climate than I am, but this is a climate hoax, what they do.
Yeah, nobody's more into the climate than I am. You know what I mean? It's for a lot of people, climate was so 5 minutes ago, sister, but not me.
A hoax.
It's a hoax.
Explain that.
Destroying our country.
Yeah, explain how it's a hoax. Yeah, tell us how climate change is a hoax. And by the way, what he's going to say, more than likely, based on fuck, even Stuart Varney's like, hoax? The fuck are you talking about? What he means is that we can replace our energy needs with renewables quickly enough, and that the other aspect of his hoax, which is like, shut off all fossil fuels tomorrow, and that net zero means zero, not net zero. There you go.
It's a total hoax from beginning to end, you think?
Well, the Green New Deal is a hoax. And
yeah,
this
but
was
what about
created
climate
by somebody
change?
that I don't even think ever took a course in the environment.
Is the climate climate changing because of human activity?
In my opinion, you have a thing called weather, and you go up and you go down. If you
Motherfucker. In my opinion, you have a thing called weather. I swear to God. This is. Do you think we're gonna get into where is it?
Assuming you're believing in atmospheric filth.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's definitely clippable. Hold on. What the fuck?
In my opinion, you have a thing called weather, and you go up and you go down. If you look into the 1920s, they were talking about global freezing. Okay, in other words, the globe was going to freeze. And then they go global.
Oh, I see. Global freezing means, in other words, the globe was going to freeze. Really? You mean in the 70s, not the 20s? I know the 7s look like a 2 when you write them down. In the 70s, when there was a hole in the ozone layer and they thought CFCs were actually causing global cooling, and we managed to curtail that, and we switched how we did our, because we overdid it with how we had HVACs, and it was all hairspray, remember that? And it was creating a venting hole, which was cooling the earth, and we fixed it. Now it's closed, and now we have greenhouse gases. Oh, God.
Warming, then they couldn't use that because the temperatures were actually quite cool, and many different things. So now they just talk about climate change. The climate's always been changing. Now, what we want is we want clean air, we want clean water. The biggest misconception, though, is if the United...
All right. For the record, son of a bitch. Oh, yeah, there were globalists back then. Of course they were. They've been Jews forever. That's what they mean when they say globalists. But for the record, I have said this many times. If you're talking to the dumbasses of the world like Trump, and you start talking about climate change, they literally can't grasp it. The religious ones won't refuse to because God controls the sky. Like, they just think you can't ruin the earth forever and ever. You don't have that power. God has more power than you do. Hence, if he just decided tomorrow, one, super volcano would cool the earth and respond. Okay, they'll say that. So when you talk to these folks, you have to talk to them specifically about...
And I was...
hold on. Whoops, wrong one. It's this guy.
Atmospheric filth.
Yeah. You have to talk to them about pollution because they can't fucking grasp the idea of climate. Their brains won't handle it. They just, and anybody who sells to that crowd, to the religious God controls the sky crowd, even though man was made shepherd of the earth, and if you believe in a deity and it's in and of all things, obviously, if the earth fails because of the creatures on it, so what? Right? On the massive scale we're talking about, it'd be, I'm sure God would be mad, but ultimately he wouldn't interfere in that regard.
Assuming you're believing in atmospheric filth.
That's what he's talking about. He's talking about we want clean water and we want clean air and the cleanest air and the cleanest water, but China and India are going to use all this stuff, and they're going to get ahead of us because their factories will burn coal and oil, right? That's it.
Let's say the United States was perfect, and they spent 10 times more or 100 times more for their energy than China, India, Russia, all these other countries, right, that are very dirty. Don't forget, when those dirty countries, when those fumes go up into the air, it blows right over the center of the United States, just like they dumped.
First of all, no, it doesn't. It goes into the atmosphere and affects the heat of the planet. It doesn't blow over us like a smell. I bet he's going to go to plastics off the coast of California right now. Fucking hell.
Garbage in the ocean. And you know where it lands? On our west coast, okay? And we're taking...
Jesus Christ. Just the stupidity. So since China and India produce a lot of plastic waste, and it ends up on the West Coast, we should just make as much plastic as they do, if not more, because fuck it.
Out hundreds of thousands of tons of garbage that comes from China, Japan, many, many countries where they dump their garbage because the tides flow right into Los Angeles, okay? And so...
Yes, that's how it works. The tides flow right into Los Angeles. Honestly, I don't know how the right wing picks on California because we catch all of the garbage from all of Asia, and we're so busy spending money doing that I don't... Of course we have crime and homelessness. The fumes alone are driving people insane.
We are fighting to have a clean country. But if the fumes are dirty in China and dirty in India and dirty in Russia and other places, with the winds in 3 days, they're right over the center of the United States. And this is why.
This is why we have international deals with everybody, like the Paris Accord, to try and get everybody to lower their fumes and that kind of 3 days. What the fuck? Why am I trying to make sense of this? Why should we bother? Why? You know what's happening? We keep our air clear, and in 3 days, the air over Europe is clean because we did that. What the fuck?
And it makes us totally non-competitive. So unless everyone's going to do it together, the problem is the green technology isn't powerful enough to power our great plan. So if we want to stop being a great manufacturing capital, let's go green.
Oh my fucking God. The transition to green tech, to wind, solar, and geothermal are largely for consumer use. Once you take out cars and like lights and air conditioning from houses and shops on a smaller scale, you remove so much carbon from the atmosphere that when you use it, you know, fossil fuels for factories, it doesn't even register. We're trying to remove this from our consumer and our interpersonal lives on a mass scale. We're not trying to run entire factories off of solar farms yet. For fuck's sake. Oh, God, this is lazy. Ah. Can somebody just walk up to him and go, look, I thought I got them. Didn't I get the troll? I thought I got him already. Took me a minute, but I got him. Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah, he talked to Abdul about the power.
Let's go to the windmills. The windmills are all made in China and Germany. And, you know,
and those are equally bad.
If you're a believer in the whole carbon deal, there's more carbon thrown out of making those things than they can save in 10 years just from making them. The carbon rises.
All right. The substructure of wind farms improves with better technology. The batteries that were made for electric cars had very shitty range and and were more polluting than the ones that are made now. As we move into these technologies, they get better and better and better. Cars went like, it was like 2 gallons to the mile when shit started. They improved over time. That's the point. Oh, God.
These are massive structures. And then when they rust out and they're gone in 10 years, for certain reasons, it's very hard to bury them because of what they're made of, especially the blade.
It's very hard to bury them because of what the blades are made out of. You mean metal? Good fucking Lord.
So, you know, but the wind is very intermittent.
Oh my God. Honey, do we want to watch television? The wind isn't blowing, dear. This is the same shit from his goddamn rallies.
It doesn't work well, and it's the single most expensive form of energy. And we have clean, natural gas. We have more energy than any other country, and we have clean coal. They have technology now, coal technology, which is incredible.
Yeah, okay. They can do carbon recapture on coal plants, but there's no such thing as clean fucking coal. And there's no such thing as clean natural gas either. As a matter of fact, the fact that while they're digging for oil, they produce natural gas and the methane vents into the atmosphere, one of the greatest sources of it is of CFCs, or CFCs. Listen to me, it's 1978 all over again. I feel like Farrah Fawcett doing an ad for the environment. The source of carbon in the air is caused by methane.
Let's call it clean coal. We have so many things that we're sitting on top of. I call it liquid gold. And our
Okay, first of all, natural gas is a gas, and coal is a fucking solid. What the hell?
liquid gold makes us more than competitive because China doesn't have that. They have to go and buy everything. We have it under our feet, and we don't want to use it because these people, it's not that we don't want to. I think a vast majority of our nation does, but some crazies don't. And they make it very, very difficult, and they make us non-competitive as a nation.
Mr. President.
Again, no, we are not. And the transition of energy source is not about factories. This is a big lie. It's been carried around a lot. The factories and foundries and, steel plants and shit like that, of course they would be run on fossil fuels because of the intensity of what they are. But consumer houses don't need it. We use a lot less energy now, especially than we did 10 years ago. And with LED lighting and all kinds of other stuff, it's continuing to go down. And if you could run geothermal systems on a line of houses in the same neighborhood. If you did shit like that when you were developing stuff, you wouldn't need to draw from Hoover Dam and other places like we do here. And so that energy would still exist and could go to factories and the like. Oh, my God.
I don't know how much contact you have with Elon Musk. I don't know whether you're in conversation with him or not.
Yeah.
But Biden...
He's a friend of...
Yeah, they're on conversation a lot, Stu.
Elon Musk. I don't know whether you're in conversation with him or not.
Yeah.
But...
He's not... Conversation is tweeting back and forth. It's conversation on social media. Conversation.
He's a friend of mine. I like him a lot, and I helped him a lot.
Yeah, Biden snubs him. Biden snubs Elon Musk. Maybe it's because
his company wouldn't fucking exist if it wasn't for the seed money he got during the Biden administration after 2008, and he acts like he is a bootstrapper who did it all by himself. Maybe that's why. Maybe because he trolls the Biden administration when he knows full well that his company wouldn't be where it is without that seed money.
Car factories are non-union, I don't know, but Biden snubs him, and I wonder why he does that.
I don't think he snubs him. I think he just doesn't have enough hours in the day to call him, which he should. He's a smart guy, Elon. Very smart.
Yeah, he doesn't snub him. He just, oh yeah, that's probably true. Biden is working too much to call Elon. Whereas Trump, I mean, he was on the golf course a lot.
I think he just, he probably only takes a few calls a day because that's the energy level we're dealing with. So I don't think he snubs him. I think he just doesn't have enough time.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Holy shit. Cancel? No, I don't need that. Lord Almighty. Biden is sleeping. Nope. Biden's working. Sorry. And again, you people listened to that interview and the other Varney interview and went, sharp as a tack. Trump's sharp as a tack. He knows what's going on. He knows what's up. He knows what side of the bread butter goes on, man. That guy. You really? You listen to things like...
Assuming you're believing in atmospheric filth. And I was, part of a family that was very well knit.
They do action replays in magnified fashion.
Nuclear stockpiles.
Yeah, that's the guy.
God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
Right? Thank you very much. He's talking about clean coal and clean natural gas, and he calls clean coal liquid gold. That's right. I still am marveling at that shit. But that's your dude. That's the guy who, like, yeah, if he calls him Sleepy Joe, that must be true. Really? That's your hero? That's who you're gonna... You're going all in on that dude. You're going all in on
Free health care for illegal. Look,
really, that's your guy?
when they gaze upon Yosemite.
Yeah, that's who you're like, this man. And by the way, this collection of things that I have of him talking out of his ass, like, I'm constantly adding to this thing because it never stops.
De-engineering.
I mean, honestly. Liquid gold. Right. Yes, yes, coal is liquid. That's why they have coal pumps. That's why we pump coal. That's why there's you ever see There Will Be Blood? It was originally titled There Will Be Coal. And that black stuff that's coming out, that's liquid coal. That's the clean coal. The liquid it is that's the stuff that comes out, that oozes out first. Liquid hot magma. Yeah. This is the guy you're backing. You're 100% on him.
Michigan gave us Motown. Gave us Motown. Gave us the Mustang.
That's your guy. That's who you want back in.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
That's it? Yeah? I mean, he meant to say something else. I'm being mean. You know what I mean? I mean, he did say, he had the best words.
And when you say per capita, there's many per capitas. It's like per capita relative to what?
Yeah. So it's not about
wildlife refuges. I mean, you look at this. You look at what we do with our wildlife.
Those kind of things. What's a pro-crime judge? You would have to ask Trump, honestly.
We have that. It's as wide as it can be.